Hello there, and welcome to another Starfield video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Haemosu. I believe that's how you say it. It's a unique ship that you can find in the game through a random encounter. So in order to get this ship, as you travel through the various systems and planets, you can come across this ship where you get hailed, and they basically tell you about how they're a couple and they recently celebrated their wedding anniversary, I believe, and that the way they found one another was that they were giving ship parts. One of them gave ship parts to the other one, and yeah, they basically want to kind of replicate that because that's how they met. So they ask you to come aboard and get a free ship part, and if you do manage to, let's say, dispose of them, you get access to the ship. Pretty cool ship. It's based on the Rambler, I believe. Yeah, it is based on the Rambler. It's primarily a Taio vessel, but it's got some Deimos pieces and some. It's actually got It's kind of it's a mix between Deimos and Taio, I believe. It's a pretty cool ship. If you get it early on, it's quite a handy ship because the Rambler is a pretty I know I'm keep saying it's a pretty good ship, but early game the Rambler is quite good because as you can see, like you've got a lot of space that you could add on extra weapons, or if you wanted to attach extra storage and the like. But yeah, so if we look at the stats, it's not going to be anything major. We have to kind of upgrade a lot of stuff, but it's got a fuel of 50. It's got a hull of 387, cargo capacity of 260. It's got an A-class reactor with 16 power, a crew of 2, 22 light year jump range, 340 shields, and then it's got 2 sets of weapons. It's got particle weapons and a missile pod. The particle weapons are mounted, the single particle turret is mounted under the left there, and then the missile pod is mounted on the top. Now, that, like I said, there's not a whole lot to this ship. It's a good platform, but it's a great ship if you want to use it early on. But there's some upgrades and kind of things I recommend doing. So we'll check that out in a minute. First of all, let's do a quick run through. I really like the Rambler, and then there's the Vagabond, just because it's quite a cool looking ship. It's one of the nicer looking kind of Taio vessels. There's not too much curvature to it. Also, it's got a really nice color scheme. As you see here in the back, we've got the single engine there, really nice. And then in through the Deimos entryway. Have any meds? Nope. So we have the entryway there and the docking port up above, which is always nice. And then we have this is a Stroud Eklund all-in-one berth, I believe. We've got 4 beds there, and Simeon sitting on a chair, and then we have a galley that works, and then we have the cockpit. I've said this many times before, it's a nice cockpit. What is a Leto Master? Oh, I can't aim. That's interesting. It must be some sort of autopilot-y system. It's weird that it's all the way back there. But anyway, it's a nice cockpit. Like it feels very luxurious, but I don't like how the 2 seats are just kind of there. They're like less crew seats and more like your passengers. You're like a shuttle pilot. Anyway, I'm just gonna take her up into space, see how she performs. There you go. As always, I have a perk that increases my power by 5, so for the sake of this review, we're not going to be using 5 power. Considering this is an early kind of level ship, we don't need to worry too much about the power. It only has 2 weapons and a pretty mediocre shield and engine. So if we... There we go. Alright, so we've got a fair few pips to play around with. We've got 5 extra pips that we can put into things. So weapon-wise, we've got those particles, single particle. And then we got the missile. They're pretty. The weapons aren't too bad. You can definitely hold your own in some early kind of conflicts against single ships, but against multiple ships, you'll kind of struggle. Quick speed check. It's gonna have a base speed of 150 because we're using those A-class engines. Boost speed's probably gonna cap out around 600. Oh no, it's going to cap around. Yeah, around 600. Cool, cool. Little agility test, pitch up. Oh, this is kind of heavy. The agility on this is not very good. It's probably because it's only got the singular engine. Well, this is not very agile, you know that? One of the least agile ships I've reviewed in a long time. And then the roll. Alright, so we're going to head down to the planet, and I'm going to show you how you can build it, and then some potential upgrades. Alright, so here we are. We have split it into 3 sections. Top section here, we have an Atlatl 270A, missile launcher from Lightside, A-class, 5720 range, 1 fire rate, 49.34 hull and shield damage, and 3 power, and that is mounted on a equipment plate from Tayo. Then we have the extender port 200 Docker top from Tayo, and then we have this measly M10 Ulysses Helium 3 tank from Dogstar, 50 fuel. It's not really enough fuel. We're going to have to upgrade that. So then in the middle of the vessel, we've got the Dymo Enhanced Cockpit from Tayo, 260 cargo. Then we have the Stroud All-in-One Berth 2x1A. We have the R1000 Alpha Grav Drive from Reladyne, A-Class, 9 power. 60 jump thrust, which gives us 22 light years. We've got the Tokamak X050 Reactor from Xi'an, A-Class, 16 power, 340 hull. And then we have the Ammon 3 engine from Amandon, A-Class, 2 power, 9,200 engine thrust, 1,900 maneuvering thrust. For the structural pieces, we've got 4 of these Nova cowlings, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. And then we have 2 of these 22 CB landing gear from Deimos. They give 1 thrust each. Down the bottom of the vessel, we have the Tayo braking engine. We have the Pinpoint 4G landing gear from Tayo, 2 landing thrust. We have a Horizon weapon mount here with a single Disruptor 3300 electron beam from Horizon Defense. A-class, 5,005 range, 3.49 fire rate, 12 hull and shield damage, and 3 power. Then on the other side, we've got the Deflector SG-10 shield generator from Sexton Shield System. A-class, 3 power, 340 shield. Behind that, we have the 120 LD landing bay from Deimos. And then finally, we have the Hoplite landing gear, the Hope 5 landing gear from Hope Tech. I don't know why I said Hoplite, that's 1 power. So we're going to put it back together, and I'm going to show you some potential upgrades. So first and foremost, we're going to change this fuel tank. So what we're going to do is we're going to... Okay, so we've got some potential areas for upgrade. What we're going to do is for our fuel tanks, we're going to get... See, we could go pretty simple and just use this bad boy here, but that would kind of upset the flow of the vessel. Now, you could obviously go merging. So for this build, I'm going to go with merging and then non-merging. So what I'll do is 2 of these bad boys, 1 each side. That gives us what is that? 320 fuel, which is pretty decent. Gets the job done. And then for our grav drive, we're going to swap this out for... actually, let me put that back so I can compare. So, if we put the best grav drive on it there... but they're both the same. This is the best version of it. Main difference is this has a jump drive thrust of 16. This has 27. So we slot that in there. And we now are at max. Now next, we're going to remove the weapons for the moment because the weapons are kind of crappy. For the shield, we're going to remove that shield and we're going to replace it with... Now obviously with this upgrade, because it's an early level ship, you may not have these parts available. So like say for instance, if I tell you, oh, we use the 60S shield generator. If you can't get that, then use whichever one is available. We're going to get this bad boy, and we're going to attach this here. This is the 60S shield generator. It's going to give us 810 shield and A-class, and it's going to be 8 power, which is very nice. Now, next for the engine. Now, this Tokamak X50 reactor, if you want to keep this style of reactor, you can definitely do that, but you'll have to go to Hopetown. Now, I'm not at Hopetown, and I'm not a huge fan of that reactor. So we're going to go with the Spheromac reactor here. We're going to slap this bad boy on. Ship is attached module. It shouldn't. What's not attached? Oh, that's because that's not... Okay. So we're not going to actually use that one. We're going to... We need to find one that sits all of it. We're going to go with this one here, the 160. We're losing a little bit, but the main difference between the power, if we take a look at this, so the base version, 16 power, this has 29 power and 340 hull, and this thing has 760 hull. So we're getting a lot more hull. Now for the engine, we're going to remove that engine and we're going to replace it with... We're going to go with some White Dwarf 3015 engines. These give mobility of 67 and they give it a top speed of 180, which is very nice. Now what we could potentially... Can we remove that? We could potentially add 2 there. Increase our top speed a little bit. So we're just going to be testing for the moment. Actually, we'll check that in a moment. So for the structural pieces here, so we've got this Stroud all-in-one berth, and the all-in-one berth's not bad. But I would recommend, since this is your first ship, I would recommend either having a workshop so that you can modify your ship on the go, which is really helpful. And if you don't have that, I would probably recommend changing it. If you want to have more crew, I would recommend a control station, which isn't too bad. So I just noticed something here. We can actually move around these pieces. So if we move these and remove those, we attach it here. So we're going to be changing the profile of this quite a bit, but all in all, it should look good as we're done with it. Because we have that landing gear at the front, and we have landing gear at the back. And then that way we could add, potentially we could add a second engine there if you wanted to. And then for some cargo, see if we have, we could add this bad boy in here for cargo, like so. Just to kind of give it some extra, some extra kind of power. And then finally, with the weapons on this, the weapons aren't like bad at all. They're quite decent, but we're gonna change them a little bit. So what we're going to do, actually, let me see about making this a bit structurally nicer. The Nova wings. How does the Nova wings look on them? Yeah, some Nova wings look nice. They kind of extend it out a little bit. So for weapons, we're going to kind of keep it some low key. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some PB30 electron beams, just because it's a kind of a... I would recommend either putting some... if you have the Vanguard obliterators, obviously slap them down. But if you don't, then use whatever your highest level PB. So if you can afford the PB50s, obviously go the PB50s. I'm going to go with the... I'll go with the Vanguard. And then we're going to just strap the 4 of these on, like so. And then for our second weapon, we're going to go with, let me see. What do we have? Them. I like it. To be fair, I actually like them disruptor beams. I like the color scheme. You know what? We're going to actually use these. Now, they're quite pricey, as you can see, because this is one of the kind of the things when it comes to upgrading them. I'm going off of the best upgrades, so if you don't actually have the best, just go what you can. I'm going to use these because they actually fit the ship quite well. And these are 4 power each, and then we're going to put 1 up there, like so. And then for the missile launcher, we're going to mount some of these C-19 missile launchers here. Just because, again, it's keeping the color scheme quite well. There we go. Perfect. Now, for some structural, potentially some structural pieces we could add, I'm just looking. There's not a whole lot going on here. I'm going to actually change the color of these to match that. Like so, perfect. And then we're going to actually change the color of these to the white. Like that, perfect. And then we're going to change these to the... No, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Why are they changing to white? On now. There we go. Perfect. And then we're just going to change this to that, like so. And put the shield back here since it's white. And then we're going to change these to perfect. So that's pretty much it in terms of the ship. We've got more weapons, better shield, kind of better everything. Now, obviously, like I was saying, if you don't have the best shield or let's say the best engine available, you could just kind of put on whatever one you want in its place. I'm going to change these to white. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's going to be a shorter one, but it's one of the ships in the game, and, you know, got to cover it. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this sort of content. And I do have a large playlist of the various ships you can find in the game, so check it out if you're curious about some of the other ships. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.